Abuja. My name is Lawrence Moise. Thank you once again for being part of this great show. As usual, we will be taking a trip around the pages of the papers, and during the second half of the show, we will be back to look at some of the highlights in details. Straight up, we move to the Punch newspaper. The lead story on the front page of the Punch newspaper: Ibadan Fun Fair tragedy. Tinubu orders probe as Ooni's ex-queen detained. Death rises. All right, still staying with the Punch newspaper, Lagos State government begins 2,200 police housing units, donates 260 vehicles. And Wike revokes Buhari Foundation, SGF, ex-CJN, others FCT land. And debt servicing salaries take to 24.8 trillion naira in 2025 budget. Tax bill, Dogara tackles northern governors. Shekarau group demands review. And Ekiti Airport open for private jet landing from January. This is according to Governor Oyebanji of Ekiti State. And 50% salary cut, reps to return 704 million naira to President Tinubu. And Edo traders will get interest-free loans from January, according to Governor Okpebolo. And probe begins on theft of Anambra visually impaired woman's ATM card. And we move on to the Tribune newspaper. Federal government redeploys permanent secretaries in civil service. And still staying with the Tribune newspaper, no governor has right to remove LG chairman. This is according to the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. And Senate passes 2025 budget for second reading, adjourns till January 14th. And Dangote Refinery reduces petrol price to 899 naira 50 kobo per liter. Daily Trust newspaper is next, and budget 2025, Tinubu Shettima strips, refreshments to go up 9.4 billion naira. And people curse me, my family over tax reform bills. Oyetele. And 59.4 billion naira Greater Duse Water Project takes off in Jigawa State. Tinubu approves Presidential Support Group for 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And Sultan decries present state of Almajiri practice. Ibadan Stampede, Tinubu mourns, wants perpetrators sanctioned as death toll hits 40. One killed, siblings injured as explosion rock Niger community. And demolition court awards 8.5 billion naira damages against Kano State government. A non-payment of fees, Wike revokes Buhari, Abbas, 757 others Abuja land titles. Akwa Ibom floats oil firms for marginal fuels exploration, revives ailing industry. And police hunts lady who allegedly defrauded physically challenged woman. All right, we move on to this day newspaper. Taminu Yakubu is saying how Tinubu will cut inflation from over 34% to 15% in 2025. And still on the local government story, Fagbemi, Latif Fagbemi, the AGF is saying no governor has powers to remove LGA chairman. And still staying with this day newspaper, Lagos boosts police operations with 260 vehicles and gadgets. And NLC protests exclusion of organized labor from formulation of tax bills. Tinubu approves redeployment of 11 permanent secretaries. And FCT Internal Revenue Service generates 252 billion naira in 2024. And Buhari saying my personal land not revoked by FCTA. And the federal government is also saying Nigeria's leather industry worth 23 billion naira and it can create 700,000 jobs. So what are we waiting for? And we move on to the Nation newspaper. Police confirm 35 children dead in Ibadan stampede. And 845 billion naira allocated for minimum wage in 2025 federal government estimate. Abbas, Ubasani, Onoge, Okorocha, Adeyemi, others lose Abuja plots of land. The Vanguard newspaper is next now, and petrol pump price remains 1,025 naira per litre despite Dangote refinery slash. And Nelfon condoles Borno government university over death of students. Reps to present 704 million naira half-year salary donation to Tinubu. And in the 2025 budgets across the states and the federal government, 3.8 trillion naira has been budgeted to health care. All right, we move on to the Guardian newspaper. And it has this late story, how inflation stole Christmas. Dogara slams northern leaders for mismanagement, says tax reform will drive change. Reps panel reads riot act to CBN over 1,000 sacked workers. And Tinubu demands probe of Ibadan tragedy. No governor can remove LG chairman under Tinubu's watch, says AGF. Falana urges Osun government to fully rehabilitate, integrate pardoned convict. Nigerians experts express mixed feelings over 2025 budget proposal. And more knocks on IOC's divestment approval as Dangote courts fuel price. Castina plans on pharmaceutical manufacturing firm, and Diri appeals to striking lecturers. Firm petitions CP over assault on clients in Cross River State. Group trains market women on free bill demand in Lagos. Climate stakeholders urge Bauchi to tie afforestation to staff promotion. And newer bans night travel and forces passengers manifest life jacket. Lagos naps 15 minors over street begging. And group empowers 500 children with disabilities caregivers in Lagos. And still talking about the Oyo Stampede, Makinde Council's birthday party book launch in Ebonyi State. Alright, we move on to penpushing.com.ng. Police seek public assistance to reunite abducted boy with family. For details of that story, you can check out penpushing.com.ng. And also still staying with Pen Pushing, only sympathizes with families of victims of children stampede. And we also have the story, Tinubu orders investigation into stampede at children's phone fair as police confirm 35 deaths. And Fadugba cautions women not to be swayed by peer pressure. And former President Muhammad Buhari is saying, I don't have land in Abuja to be revoked by Wike. You want to get to the details? The place to go is penpushing.com.ng for your source of authentic news globally. All right, we'll take a short break now, and when we return, the second half of the show will commence, and Ahina's analyst is already on standby waiting for that. Don't go away. Newspaper review will return in a moment.
Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Wants your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody.
Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. And this is the second half of the show. And this is where we look at some of the headlines in details. And to help us do this is our in-house analyst, Mr. Salman Salami. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning to you.
And Mr. Salman is the COO of Citizen 93.7 FM. And as usual, we are going to rely heavily on him as he guides us through the second half of the show. Once again, welcome, Mr. Salman Salami.
May God guide all of us. Thank you.
All right, and today is Friday. I'm always very happy because my boss is going to make available to us in the office happy hour. Mr. Salami Shidi.
You're right.
All right, let's start from the Punch newspaper. The headline of the Punch newspaper, not a very nice story, but then we need to look at it. Ibadan Fun Fair tragedy. Tinubu orders probe as Ooni's ex-queen detained and death rise. And the story has it that the Oyo State Police Command on Thursday detained the former queen of the Ooni of Ife and 6 others as investigation into the stampede at the fun fair in Ibadan on Wednesday continues. The police also confirmed 35 dead, children dead, with 6 others sustaining varying degrees of injuries following the pandemonium. This is a sad one. We also understand that the President Bola Tinubu, has ordered a comprehensive probe into the incident. Mr. Salami.
It is pretty sad. And like we have been saying, that negligence, criminal negligence, should not be allowed to prevail or be the order of the day. We know that what happened was or is an unintended consequence. But be it as it may, somebody did not do what he was supposed to do. Or somebody did what supposed to do wrong. What was the number of the fund seekers provided for? When it was becoming more than the number prepared for, what action did the organizers take? And in any case, what was the crowd control mechanism that was in place? What was the option B? And it's unfortunate that almost everybody in Nigeria today is a consultant. If it's an event, you see yourself as an event consultant or manager, and you do not think that there is the need for you to retain the services of professionals. So many questions to be answered. Unfortunately, any life lost cannot be replaced.
Certainly not. So sad.
That is the more reason why government should be up and doing and must be thorough in allowing anybody to stage or hold an event. If there is no proper arrangement and preparation and approval, such an event should not be allowed to hold. We saw this before. Abba Moro is still a senator today. We are mentioning his name because he was the man in charge that time. We should not allow history. History doesn't repeat itself. We are the ones repeating history. If we have to put it pungently or succinctly, we need to be pointed. Like I keep on saying, there must be consequence. We should not continue to reward bad behavior.
At all.
Impunity should not be allowed to be the order of the day. Irrespective of whose horse is God, no matter the status or the standing in the society of those involved, they should be made to face the law.
Exactly.
And to the youngsters that were caught
and their families.
Our condolences.
Exactly. And Mr. Salami, you made a very vital point. We should get used to this habit of involving professionals and government agencies when we want to do things, especially when you're doing things that will involve the presence of a large number of people.
Especially youth,
women, in fact, anybody, because the life of anybody is very important. We need it. You need the service. You need the services of even the fire service officials, road safety officials, the police, and so many others who will be on standby in case of emergency, NEMA, and so many things. When you have a crowd of over 1,000 people, you know that if anything happens on your own, you can hardly do anything. So it's we really need, as a nation, to revisit stuff like that. Mr. Salami, let's move on to this story. It is in Daily Trust. It's virtually in all the other papers, but let's use the Daily Trust as a guide. Wike revokes land allocation to Buhari, Speaker Abbas, Kaduna Governor, others. And the story has it that Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has revoked the ownership of 762 plots of land in the Hybro Maitama district of Abuja over non-payment of statutory fees. According to public notices issued by the FCT, the affected groups failed to pay their certificate of occupancy for the confiscated plots. The high-profile figures affected include former President Muhammad Buhari and former Chief Justice Walter Onoge. But I want us to also look at the same story from the angle of penpushing.com. I don't have any land in Abuja to be revoked by Wike, says Buhari. In reaction to that story, Mr. Buhari, Mr. Salami, Nigeria's former president, Muhammad Buhari, has distanced himself from the revocation of a plot of land belonging to the Muhammad Buhari Trust Foundation in Abuja, saying he has no land to be revoked. The penpushing.com reports that Buhari, in a statement by his media aide, Garba Shehu, explained that he was not the owner of the foundation named after him, adding that the foundation was floated by some individuals who went about it lawfully but ran into a roadblock in the land department of the FCT. The foundation itself floated by some individuals around him who, it must be said, went about it lawfully. Okay, we've taken that. But they ran into a roadblock and handed them, because the FCDA handed them an outrageous bill for the issuance of certificate of occupancy, very high in the cost, that did not at all compare with the bills given to similar organization. It may have been that this was not erroneous but a deliberate mistake, making the revocation of land as no surprise to anyone. So that's the reaction from the former president. Count me out. That land does not belong to me. That's from former President Muhammad Buhari. Mr. Salami.
When I saw the list of the revocation, the lands that were revoked by the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, because of what he called the violation of some statutory laws, like not paying the prescribed fee and not paying the amount due before you get your C of O. Well, not surprising. Big names popped up, one of which was that of former President Muhammadu Buhari, Speaker of the House of Rep, Tajuddin Abbas, and our former CJN, Onoge, and quite many others. But Garba Shehu came out flaming. I read it yesterday, and I said that no land was revoked in the name of, going by the name of the former president, that in fact, he has just one land and no other one. You see, I was happy because some of us up till tomorrow, we still believe in President Muhammadu Buhari as a man imbued with integrity. You can say anything about him, but you must concede one thing to him. Here is a man who does not believe that public office is an avenue for money making. Up till tomorrow, nobody has come out to say President Muhammadu Buhari asked for kickback for so contract. Is government awarded? Men, don't let us take all these things for granted. This is equivalent to what Yoruba has called the Omoluabi. That is a man of integrity. A man who does the right thing as much as possible, always. And I think President Muhammadu Buhari remains one of the most credible Nigerians. And we are saying this with all sense of responsibility. Even though I'm beginning to have little doubts on certain things. One of which was, if a vehicle had an accident, and you now begin to say that the driver does not have a fault, but hold the conductor responsible. That is where I have a problem.
The conductor may have distracted the driver.
well, the driver is still in charge. All the boss stops on the table of the driver.
I get you.
So that is the only reason. That's the only thing I have. But even at that, he's a human being. I'll still believe that being a human being is not a perfect person, but to a very large extent, he remains one of our significant others.
And you see, Mr. Salami, a lot of people are likely to just glance over this. But the question is, how many public officials will be in power and not be tempted to use that office for pecuniary gains? And not to talk about the highest office in the land. You see, it's not something that many of them can attest to. How many can beat their heart that, look, I spent 8 years, I spent 4 years in office. I did not use my office to get a land, to get a contract to do this. It's not something that is not a quality that you find in every public official. So I think I support what you're saying, that he is an uncommon public official.
Lawrence, let me tell you the truth. We have quite many Nigerians who are still honorable. In capital letters. In capital letters. There are quite many Nigerians who fear God, not because they are Christians, not because they are Muslims, but because they believe that at the end of the day, you will be accountable for all your deeds and misdeeds. And what was more, they do not see this world as anything other than a wayfarer.
I'm talking about people in public office.
Yes, quite many of them.
If we had so many of them in public office, why are we having the number of allegations, fraud, and so many things?
You see,
if there are so many in public office.
You see, the truth is this. The truth is this. They are very, very few. They are in short supply.
Damn.
Very, very short supply. That is, but that does not still mean that we do not have them.
Obviously, yeah, I get your point. All right, so that's it. You've heard it. The former president has no hand in any land. It was a foundation. It was not his own foundation. They just named it after him. And you know the way people do things when you're in power. But then I think that clarification is necessary. Mr. Salami, let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. No governor has a right to remove local government chairman, AGF Fagbemi. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, stated that a state governor has no right to remove a democratically elected local government chairman. The AGF made this declaration in Abuja while providing an update on justice sector reforms during a citizens' engagement program. He noted that the state governor has no power to remove a local government chairman or officials from office. This followed the suspension of council chairman and their deputies in Edo State. Mr. Salami.
You remember we talked about this yesterday. But even at that, the Attorney General, Lateef Fagbemi, whatever he said is just a legal opinion.
It's not the court.
It's not final.
It's not the court.
It's not a judge, let alone a Supreme Court judge. Whatever he said over that matter is a legal opinion.
Absolutely.
It must be tested, and I'm sure it will be tested in the courts, and it will get to the Supreme Court, where you will hear the final pronouncement on that thorny issue.
Absolutely. We know that this matter most likely will end up at the Supreme Court. We're still staying with the Tribune, Mrs. Salami. Senate passes 2025 budget for second reading, adjourns till January 14th. The Senate has passed the 2025 budget for second reading. The senators debated the 49.7 trillion naira money bill before passing it for second reading. It was referred to the Committee on Appropriations to report back to the floor within 4 weeks. The Senate later adjourned January 14th, 2025. So, Mr. Salami, number one, it means that we are not going to have a new budget by January 1 or 31st December, as been the case in the last couple of years. And don't forget that the Senate also extended the life time of the 2024 budget for another 6 months. So, what do you say about this?
Well, you see, it still means that there is a disruption in the budget year again. You know, before it's every January that we start to operate a new budget, but it only means that when this budget will be in operation is in the womb of the time. That is one. And two, you know that the Senate, the National Assembly, comprising the Senate and the House of Rep, will look at the sectoral allocations, and it will take time. They will ask the ministers to come and defend their budgets. They will even ask the head of agencies to come and. So what we are saying is this: we may not have a new budget until March or April.
Well, it's possible. All right, still staying with the National Assembly, this time to reps to present 704 million naira half-year salary donation to Tinubu on December 31st. The House of Representatives on Thursday announced plans to submit the 704 million naira for the use of vulnerable Nigerians owing to the economic hardship occasioned by the removal of subsidy from petrol on December the 31st, 2024 to President Buhari, Tinubu. Recall that on July the 18th, the House of Reps resolved to slash 50% of their salaries for 6 months to address the challenges faced by ordinary Nigerians following the adoption of a motion moved during plenary session. Addressing his colleagues during Thursday's plenary, the Speaker said, "If you recall, about 5 months ago, we decided to contribute half of our salaries to address the critical needs of Nigerian people. I am happy to inform you that so far, we have contributed 704 million naira. On December the 31st, I will lead a delegation of the leadership to hand over the money to the President for the exclusive use of the vulnerable Nigerians who really need it." Mr. Salami.
We really thank them for contributing 704 million. They have really tried. They have tried. And Nigerians should praise them. You don't look at a Greek gift in the mouth, even though the so-called 704 million can be contributed by just one of them. That is not the issue. It is their money. They reserve the right to do whatever that pleases them with it. Thank you, sir, our legislator, for even thinking about us that we deserve that much. We really thank you. The downtrodden Nigerians will forever remember you for deeming it fit to sacrifice, because that is what it is. 704 million. It's not even up to 1 billion. But then, like I said, you must appreciate whatever is given. You don't look a Greek gift in the mouth.
Why do I think that somebody is just trying to be sarcastic here? Whatever it is, Mrs. Salami, I will take your submission on the face value. I don't want to go into whether you are trying to be sarcastic here or not. All right, still staying with the budget and National Assembly issues. A report here shows that a combination of 21 states and the federal government have allocated 3.84 trillion naira to health care. The federal government and 21 of the 36 states of the country have allocated 3.8 trillion naira to their 2025 budgets to health care. The figure represents 6% of the 63 trillion naira they propose to spend next year. This is a far cry from the World Health Organization recommendation of 13% and the Abuja 2001 declaration by the African Union of 15%. Salam.
Lawrence, I looked at the percentages allocated to some sectors, and I discovered that security came first, and education too, and health. Now, you see, it is easy to talk and pontificate over budgeting, but the truth remains that no one sector is more important than the other, strictly speaking. But come to face it, You don't need security if you are dead, because the securities took a large chunk of the allocation. But a dead man does not need any security again. I wouldn't know whether you talk about securing the morgue or the graveyard. But in truth, I think health should come first, because health is wealth. It is when you are healthy and you are alive that you need security. That is even when you need education. The dead, I doubt if they still learn. So, what am I saying? Medicare should be made accessible and affordable. Nigerians should be healthy. It is when you have healthy body that productivity can increase, that you can work. And it is then that we can now be in firm control of our economy. Sound mind, only in healthy body. And when I say this, I'm saying it that we need robust medical care in all its ramifications. I think there's still the need for the National Assembly to put more money in the health sector during the debate. We need a good health care and medical care in Nigeria, so that Nigerians can be healthy and they can enjoy life to the fullest.
Oh, well, Mr. Salame, I agree with you to some extent, but you see, when it comes to the sectoral allocations, especially as it affects health, we know that ultimately, by the time you calculate everything that has gone into the health sector, you know that every time the health sector will always have the highest. Why? Because there are so many other interventions that come into the health sector that does not come through the federal government. So many foreign direct investments, donors, and so many other things are coming. And as far your argument about he who's alive is the one who is alive that needs security, I think it's just like the argument about the chicken and the hen, which one comes first. If you say let's prioritize health more than security, well, it's only in a secured environment that you can prioritize health, that you can build health facilities, that you can pay medical workers, that you can ensure the accessibility of drugs and everything. So I think these things are intertwined. We need both of them. And government will, in its wisdom, because of officials, the knowledge of the officials about certain things that we may not know, and may decide to allocate certain things to certain sectors. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM in Abuja app. Okay, we have a caller here. Let's see. Hello, good morning.
All right, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
All right, this is Bode.
I know. Good morning, Bode. Good to hear from you this morning.
Compliment of the season, Mr. Salami.
Good morning, sir.
Hello. You just talked about health. That brings me to the issue. As I'm talking to you now, National State Primary Health Care, I don't know what actually happened. I don't know if your newsman will find out. For the past 2 weeks now, they're on strike.
Okay.
Nobody has got any news about what actually happened while they're on strike. Just like what you said. The money that is allocated, is it commiserating with what we have on ground with the health sector? As I'm talking to you, I keep on saying, I don't know if there is an X-ray machine in your general hospital as of today. But as I'm talking to you, there is no X-ray in your general hospital. And budget is being made every year for those things. And maybe virtually in every general hospitals, the primary health cares are nothing to write home about. As I'm still talking to you today, I am yet to be proven wrong about it. There's a primary health care in Bagalape, which is in the FCT, just adjacent the General Hospital. Is nothing to write home about. And budget is being made every year. And nobody is asking what is this money are being used for. But the bottom line is this. What are we doing as a people? Is this what we really wanted, or we should continue doing this, or we need to change our attitude? Healthcare and education are the two things that a country needed to move forward as a people. For those in the ends of affairs, are they doing the right thing? But as I always say, Lawrence, they fail to do the needful. Someday, it may not be you, but it may directly affect you. One of your family members may be a victim when it gets to that hospital. Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. Thank you so much for calling. Yes, the numbers are open. You can join us 0903 22299797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 222206. Mr. Salami, you want to react to what Buddy said?
Well, there is very little to add because health is wealth and health is everything. No matter what you think you have lost, if you still have health, you have not lost anything. When health is lost, everything is gone. There is the need to prioritize health and Medicare. Like I said earlier, there is the need for Nigerians, for the government to make Medicare accessible and affordable. And again, Lawrence, why the government is doing its own, we Nigerians too should help the government. A situation whereby we import fake, falsified, substandard and adulterated drugs. Is it not Nigerians who will patronize this? Is it not in the cause of curing themselves? What do we say to this? We all have a role to play.
All right, Mr. Salami, let's move on to Daily Trust newspaper. Sultan decries present state of Almajiri practice. The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III, has condemned the present state of the Almajiri system in the northern part of the country, describing it as embarrassing and needing total condemnation. The Sultan stated this on Thursday during the graduation ceremony of 1,897 Almajiri and 1,087 out-of-school adolescent girls at Sultan Masidu Institute of Quranic and General Studies, Sokoto. Represented by the Jeroma of Sokoto, Alhaji Aliyu Abubakar, the Sultan said it is the right time for traditional rulers to take a stand against street begging in the name of Almajiri. Mr. Salami.
Well, I thank God that those who matter in the society are beginning to talk about this very sad and what again do I call it than to just say that it is a sign of our decadence and uncaring attitude. Otherwise,
Mr. Salami, just a moment, just pause. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Abayomi. I'm calling from Gariki.
Okay, Abayomi, good to have you this morning. Please, hello, Abayomi. There is a feedback. Could you move away from your radio set,
Yes,
please?
sir. I've already moved it from it, sir.
All right, okay.
My question I want to ask is that, is there any law forbidding the former president or speaker not to pay your rent or due? If you buy something from government, you should not pay.
Okay, not to my knowledge.
But why the newspaper, they are just carrying all these things that they revoke people's certificate or we know they are citizens. It's just like what happened recently during Fashola, one of our former president. Last month, they arrested the vehicle. They now use soldiers to be arresting BRT because they arrested one vehicle. It's one of our former presidents, Southwest. And they are the one claiming we call them murder. We still spend money on them. And now, these people that they have revolt land from them now, are they not supposed to pay? My in-law, he went to court. They charge him more because he's not body in the country. Is there any law like that?
I'm not sure there is. Okay, but thank you.
Why those people? Why are they not paying?
Well, I guess Abayomi, you're mixing a lot of things up here.
Okay.
But
no, I'm not missing it. I'm talking about the land revoke. They revoke. They said newspaper, all the newspaper, and now some people are saying they're complaining that why are they going to do like that? Why are they going to revoke the land? Well, because they did not pay rent, ground rent.
Okay.
That's most of the newspaper capture it. I just joined you now. I thought maybe you have read it.
Yeah, we read the story, but what we talked about was the aspect where the former President Mohamed Buhari's name was brought in, and he came out to clarify that he never owned any land that was revoked.
No, but why they find no former speaker, Akume, all those ones? Why they don't want to pay? If ordinary Nigeria can pay.
I guess they can speak for themselves. They have people who will speak for them. Thank you so much for your interventions. We really appreciate you. All right, Mr. Salam, before you come to him, you were talking about the alarm raised by the Sultan of Sokoto.
It is in order. This idea of Almajirism, Almajiri or Sangaya system of education, whereby a parent or some parents from some states will send their children or what underage to one malam in Kano or other part of the country in the north to be a pupil learning the Quran. Yes, there's everything good in learning the Quran, but a situation whereby the young ward who was just sent to another town to a malam who will not only teach him the Quran, but we send him on the street to start begging for alms, which will be remitted to the malam. And if you look at these young boys, clearly they are not only unkempt, they are disheveled, their health care, you could see that they are abused. Simply put, it is child abuse. And I keep on saying it, that there is no part of the Quran that says that you should give birth to a child and just send that child to a place uncatered for. That is not right. I think the idea of Almajiri system of education has been overtaken. It is no more meant for this modern day living. It is not proper for anybody to send underage onto the street, or anybody at all to be on the street begging. There are better ways of giving solid and robust education to our wards. And it is good enough that the governors of the northern states, they have taken it up and they have seen the dire need to change this narrative. It is shameful, it is disgusting, it is inhuman, and I think events have overtaken such a way of teaching the Quran. It is even not in line with the teachings of the Quran. what the principles contained in the Quran. There are better ways of doing it. This is where I would thank former President Goodluck Jonathan.
Yes.
He did a lot to change the narrative. The trajectory could have been changed by now if successive governments had
embraced it.
Lawrence, I feel sad discussing this. You need to see these children. Unless you are hardened, tears will naturally well up on your face.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Mr. Salman Salami. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your interventions. Mr. Salman Salami.
I thank Almighty God.
All right, that's our package for the week and for today. And as I said, it's Friday, and here on Citizen 93.7, we say, thank God it's Friday, and not just because our boss, Mr. Salman Salami, has declared happy hour for everyone here. So, and I know that I'm going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of the happy hour. My name is Lawrence Moite. Let's meet again on Monday, 8 a.m. on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja. Enjoy the rest of your day.